dear Chairman, dear Dr. Singh, distinguished members of the SMR Advisory Council, it is my great pleasure to meet everyone and to have the opportunity to join today discussions as a member of this council. And first of all, I would like to share great news with you. Last Friday, April 12th, Energoatom and Holtec signed a master agreement that regulates the development of in-country manufacturing capabilities in Ukraine. This agreement envisages the construction of a Ukrainian factory for the production of components for the major equipment of SMR 300 and the dry storage of spent nuclear fuel. This agreement seeks to further advance the long-standing relationship between Energoatom and Holtec. The introduction of advanced technologies and the Holtec state-of-the-art manufacturing facilities in Ukraine will be of great importance for the post-war economic recovery of our country. This project will lead to economic development, creation of jobs, establishment of modern manufacturing facilities, training facilities, and thus helping Ukraine emerge as a regional hub for Holtec's SMR 300 and spent fuel technology. Establishment of this infrastructure will be another firm step in strengthening Ukraine's independence. As we already may have known, Energoatom and Holtec teams continue to work together on deployment of the Holtec SMR 300 advanced nuclear reactors in Ukraine. We have set up a joint project engineering team which meets and discusses project status on a bi-weekly basis. Dear colleagues, I assume that many of you are closely monitoring the nuclear safety situation in Ukraine amid the war waged against our country by Russia. I would like to inform you on what is going on at the temporarily occupied Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant, which is the biggest nuclear power plant in Europe. It is more than 26 months as the Russian military have forcibly captured and occupied the Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant. The occupiers, including Rosatom, continue to violate all the IAEA's 7 indispensable nuclear safety and security pillars. A few days ago, Russians transferred Unit 4 of the plant into a cold state, finally. Just to remind you that we have requested this action constantly during the whole last year. But even despite that all power units are now in cold shutdown, the situation at the plant is getting worse every day. The current threats include the lack of licensed and qualified staff, absence of repair and maintenance, the lack of reliable supply chains, disrupted water supply due to the destroyed Kakhovka water reservoir, vulnerability of external power supply, and expiration of design in terms of operation of the nuclear fuel in all reactors of the plant. But the major threat is coming from the Russian military actions. Russia also continues to launch massive missile and artillery attacks throughout the territory of Ukraine, targeting the critical energy infrastructure. The relentless Russian shelling has several times disrupted the proper functioning of the Ukrainian energy system and poses a direct threat to nuclear safety and security of Ukrainian nuclear power plants. I would like to remind you that since the beginning of the Russian occupation, Ukrainian nuclear power plants have been 12 times in complete blackout, including the Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant, which was 8 times in blackout, running only on emergency diesel generators. That is why, with the help of the international community, we have established IAEA missions at all Ukrainian nuclear power plants to constantly monitor the nuclear safety situation and mitigate threats coming from Russian military attacks. We are also considering the possibility of deploying IAEA missions at power substations connected with Ukrainian nuclear power plants to further decrease the risks of blackouts. However, I am confident that the only way to restore nuclear and radiation safety in Ukraine, including the return of the Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant under control of Energoatom, is to intensify international pressure on Russia and Rosatom. Dear Dr. Singh, in this context, I would like to thank you for your personal, consistent efforts in providing the strong support for Ukraine and Energoatom in our struggle against the Russian invasion. Dear Dr. Singh, dear Holtec team, I would also like to take this opportunity to congratulate you on the U.S. Department of Energy's decision to provide Holtec with $1.5 billion loan to restart the Palisades nuclear power plant. This is a wonderful achievement, which I'm sure will also greatly contribute to Holtec's plans to build 2 SMR 300 reactors on the same site. Since Energoatom is planning to introduce this technology in Ukraine, we would appreciate to be involved as observer in any possible way in the Palisades SMR program. We wish you every success in the implementation of this great project. Thank you very much for your attention.